So Love Wedding Repeat is a new British Netflix comedy going straight to Netflix. I don't know if it's come to cinema first or not, but it came out on Netflix last week. I gave it a watch. It's about Jack and he's kind of struggling to find the best way for his sister to have the best wedding day possible. Going into it, didn't really know what to expect. I just seen the picture or on Netflix. I'm like, okay, that came out today. Let's give that a watch. So really had no expectations going into it. Just by judging off the title, I thought it was going to be something like a Groundhog Day or a Happy Death Day. Really wasn't anything like that at all. It's actually very much, if you've seen Community, you know the episode where they're debating who goes down to get the pizza, and then they show a scenario of say someone goes down to get the pizza, this is what happens. It's actually really like that. So really was taken back by that because that's not really something I was expecting, judging by the title. And honestly, I think I was a little bit let down because of that, because I was kind of expecting it to be a Groundhog Day just because of that title. So there's nothing, not a negative for the movie. It's just more the title. I think the title could have been a bit more better, kind of represented of what the movie was going to be. Because kind of honestly, I don't think I was the only one who actually probably was expecting it to be a Groundhog Day kind of thing. The movie has, I think it's probably about roughly 6 or 7 different story lines being told at once. Not all of them worked for me. There's a relationship with a boyfriend and girlfriend. They're talking, they're arguing about, he's saying, comparing dick sizes to other people. That whole relationship didn't really work for me. But the comedy in the element, I thought he was very funny in his role, which most of the characters in this movie were actually pretty funny. You've got this guy who, he's not Scottish, but he's insisting on wearing a kilt to the wedding. And I just thought every kind of line he said, I just kind of thought he was hilarious, because he just really played up the hilarious element of his character. Because instead of he was just random. He would come out with the randomest things. He was talking it out very straight. He thought he was being really serious. He wasn't intending to be funny. And just the way he kind of gave out his performance, I actually thought he was really funny. And his probably was my favourite character coming out after the movie. Our main lead is played by this actor called Sam Claflin. I looked him up on Google. I recognised him from a few things. I can't remember what he's in right now, but he was fine for what he was. Nothing really good to write home about. He was charming in the role, which for this movie, I think that's what he was meant to do. He wasn't meant to be like an Oscar performance. I just thought what he was doing in this movie, it worked for me in a way. He was a charming actor. But the whole movie, as the humour is the only really good thing about it. The storyline, really had no interest in it. I wasn't really watching it to watch the story. I was actually kind of watching it to see what kind of jokes are playing out, and that's not really what I was kind of going into this movie for. I was just saying it was Netflix. I said, you know what, I'll give it a shot. And I could tell by the first 10-15 minutes, I'm like, okay, the story is not what I'm going to have an interest in. It's humor, and the humor is really there. So if you're a fan of British comedies in this kind of element, I really would recommend this movie, because it did work really well in that humor standpoint for me personally. But if you're kind of a fan of, I can't even think of, like, American Pie humor, maybe this wouldn't really work for you in that kind of aspect. But if you're a fan of the In-Betweeners, you might actually have a good time watching this movie. And because the movie is repeating itself, the first storyline takes up the majority of the movie. I think it was an hour and 40 minutes movie, and I actually took note, the as soon as the second repeat, like for a movie that is kind of based around repeating storylines, it only actually has 2 different circumstances. In the middle, it kind of shows what ifs of like probably 2 minutes, but then the first storyline, then they kind of go back to the what ifs for the 2 minutes, and then they kind of finish it off with a completely different storyline. And as soon as the second storyline started playing out, I really lost interest and didn't really care about the movie from that point onwards. So it's not really, it didn't finish well for me, but the comedy, as I said, is really good. So if you have seen Love and Repeat, let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comments down below. Honestly, I think it's a very forgettable movie, but I enjoyed it in the moment. I don't think I'd ever go back to it, but you know what, if you're a fan of these kind of movies, it is on Netflix for free. You really don't have anything else to do with quarantine, so give this movie a shot. It's literally free on Netflix. But if you have seen it, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Click that subscribe button to come back next time I do a movie review. Next one I think will be Candyman 2, so if you want to see that, do click that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.